Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you stay healthy and beauty. Allow me to introduce myself and my partners. Here I am as moderator. My name is Arum Fitria Dewi and my partners Raihan Sabah, Muhammad Syalsabila Rifki, and Eko Alvin. We are from Group 4. In this presentation, we will discuss about global trade. Let me start by giving you a PowerPoint presentation. Let's start today's discussion. What is global trade? Global trade is one of the important aspects in supporting the economic growth of a country. Global trade itself is the transaction or trade of goods and services between countries through export and imports carried out across countries. Global trade or international trade plays an important role in improving the world's prosperity, as it can help each other. International trade is a trade made by inhabitants of a country with a resident of another country on the basis of mutual agreement. The population in question can be interpersonal, individual and individual, between an individual and the government of a country, or the government of a country and the government of another country. In many countries, international trade is one of the main factors for increasing GDP. And this what a global trade meaning. So, turning our attention now to the next slide with Rehan.
International trade driving factors. First, to meet the needs of domestic goods and services. Second, desire to profit and increase tax revenue. With international trade, there is a transfer good followed by an influx of capital into the country, which will increase state income. Third, there are differences in the mastery of science and technology. Due to development of science and digital information technology, encouraging all countries to increase quality of human resource and natural resources. Fourth, difference in natural resources. Natural conditions in each country are different, making a country have to interact with other countries to meet the needs of their country. Next, international trade has its own benefits. What are it? First, great efficiency and specialization. A country that deficient in producing a good can be met by cooperating with international trade or importing goods. Conversely, countries have excess production can export, so that all needs of country can be fulfilled. Second, enabling wider consumption for the population of a country. International trade able to expand market abroad. If the foreign market becomes wider, then domestic will be encouraged to increase. Third, cooperation and friendship of countries. With international trade, there is a transfer good followed by an influx of capital into the country, which will increase state income. 4. Source of state cash entry. International trade can create friendly interaction between countries. If the relationship is well established, it can improve friendly between countries.
Thank you, Raihan. So now let's move on the parties involved in international trade with Rifki.
Okay, thanks Arum. Are there barriers to international trade? Barrier must be doing something. Barrier in international trade, among other, I mean are protecting the balance of payment and domestic industry against foreign competition. International trade barriers include: number 1, base. Base is the taxation or custom duties on goods that cross the border of country. Number 2, quota. Quota is a restriction on the physical quantity of internationally traded goods. Import quota is a restriction on the amount of physical entry. Import quota is a restriction on the amount of physical entry into the country, while export quota is a restriction on the physical quantity of goods imported abroad. Number 3. Export restriction. Export restriction is a voluntary agreement between the country and the importing country in order to limit the volume of trade for certain goods. Number 5. Foreign exchange restriction. Foreign exchange restriction are restriction on the supply of foreign currencies by the central bank of country. Then who are the parties involved in international trade? The parties in international trade play a very role in the transaction. The parties involved are as follow: applicant or importer. Importer are parties that import goods from outside Indonesian custom into Indonesia custom region in accordance with the application regulation. Importers themselves are divided into three that are classified as function, namely, number 1, importer manufacturer, companies that import raw material to be produced into finished good. Example, companies that import to be made into fabric. Number 2, special importer, companies that import certain goods based on decision for the government. Example, importing rice regulated and implemented by Bulog. Number 3, general importer. The companies import goods for sale or meet its own needs. Example, importer computer, car, or motor. Thank you for me. Now I return to Arum.
Thank you, Rifki. And then let's turn our attention to the next slide with Eko Alvin.
Beneficiary or exporter. The exporter is the party that issue goods from Indonesian custom area to outside Indonesian custom in accordance with the applicable regulation. The first, exporter, and then export merchant house, business entities that are licensed by government are allowed to export commodities, and then trading company or trading house, an intermediary institution between producer and consumer. The trading house does not produce goods because its function is only to help promote and sell product to buyer. Next, indenture. Indenture is party that carries out import activities importer. There are three things that make a party indenture, namely out having a license to import. One thing to consider on the core business and tax consideration.
Thank you, Eko Alvin. Thank you guys for your attention in this discussion. Anybody would like to ask? Just feel free to interrupt me if you have anything to ask. This is the end of all our group discussion section. Thank you guys for your attention and all apologize if there is any wrongdoing. Good to see you again. May we are still healthy and happy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.